Ever since Kiryu Setsuna made his return in Kengan Mega, I was always wondering what his purpose in the story would be, and whether or not he had actually changed. Regarding the few scenes we've gotten to see about Kiryu prior to this, I thought he had actually changed, but I still wasn't sure on his whole goal. But now we got the big reveal that Kiryu Setsuna pretty much hasn't really changed to a significant degree, and we know what his current purpose is. Let's discuss. So his goal is to make Garuki the new god. If you don't know, Kiryu viewed Oma as a god in Kengan Ashura. Then they had their whole big crazy battle. Oma defeated Kiryu. Kiryu still views Oma as a god here, as he calls him the old god, but his plan is to pass all his techniques onto Garuki and make him stronger than himself and stronger than anyone else, so he can eventually defeat the old god Tokita Oma. And the techniques he's already given him is the two Koei style techniques, Blink and Rakushoshi's Palm. Considering the fact that he says, I'll pass all of my techniques onto you, maybe Kiryu's found more Koei style techniques that were lost, or maybe he's talking about the Nikko style techniques he had learned from the Tiger Nikko when he was younger, or something along the lines of that. So maybe Fallen Demon Garuki could be appearing in the future of the story, which is pretty cool, and I guess just the Nikko style knowledge Kiryu has will enhance Garuki's Gar style techniques to some degree or something like that. So my honest opinion about this, I'm not too thrilled about that. I honestly expected better from Kiryu and wanted better. It seems as though his whole reason for killing the worms alongside Garuki is to get Garuki's trust. His whole purpose is to build up Garuki, which I guess is pretty cool, but I wanted more so his own goal or own reason for doing everything rather than for the sake of someone else. So once again, Kiryu is pretty much the same character, unless he's allied actually with the worms and he's doing this from the orders of someone else, but I highly doubt that. This is Kiryu doing Kiryu things. At least it's cool we finally got that revealed. But something I'm very glad about that finally is assured in this chapter is Garuki will be continuing his stay in the tournament. He defeated Chiba low diff, and they're not sure whether or not he can fight in the next match. I talked about this in my previous videos. The only chance Garuki really has to stay in the tournament was to beat up Chiba so bad that he can't actually continue fighting. I didn't really think he would be dead, as that would most likely disqualify Roki, and I was pretty much coping on wanting to see more Garuki fight in the tournament. So since Chiba is still alive and the possibility that he may not be able to fight, Garuki will most definitely win his block and continue his way through the tournament with his new strategy, which I'll discuss now. But before that, if you're new to this channel, Mysterious Weeb, consider hitting that subscribe button, it's greatly appreciated. Now let's get into it. Ever since the recent time skips, Garuki has been teaming up with Okoye and Kiryu, killing worms. As such, he's now fine-tuned for assassinations, killing people. Now with this tournament's rules, he can't really go back to being a fighter very quickly. He can't just instantly change like that. Even prior to this whole little time skip of him focusing on killing mainly, Garuki struggled with those issues, so he can't really change. So Kiryu set him up with some new techniques, the Rakushosha Palm, where they are very dangerous. They do pretty much one-shot your opponent, but they can be used in a way where they don't instantly kill your opponent, and that's what Ruki did against Chiba here, even though he was going to follow up and was stopped by Oma, which may have actually resulted in his death. But what Garuki is currently doing, and will most likely do for the remainder of the tournament, is he's actually fighting to kill his opponent, but he's hoping for the best, I guess, that it doesn't actually go that way. So he's in kill intent, he's going to try and kill opponents who are trying to kill him, giving him the edge naturally and not nerfing himself in any regard. Maybe he's hoping people are going to stop him every round like Oma did in this fight, or maybe he's just going to use techniques in a way that aren't 100% going to kill his opponent. Maybe he's just going to risk it and see what happens. But I'm really just glad Garuki is still in the tournament and we'll get to see more of his fights and hopefully fighting some much tougher opponents to see what he is truly capable of in the story, especially now with his new demeanor. So, of course, one of the main reasons Oma was triggered and actually reacted to stop the fight is he noticed the two techniques Garuki used to finish off Chiba, Blink and Rakashasha's Palm, as he's fought Kiryu in the past, he's aware of those. He's most likely came to the conclusion that Garuki knows Kiryu at this point. We still haven't seen an interaction between Oma and Kiryu in Kengan Omega, and considering what happens at the end of this chapter regarding Kiryu wanting to build up Garuki to defeat Oma in the future, I don't think they're going to meet anytime soon, which is kind of unfortunate. That is probably something I'm most excited for, but I don't think it's going to happen really for a while now. Garuki was very badass this chapter, telling Oma that he will face him in a Kengan match anytime he wants, so them fighting in the future is going to be pretty hype. Of course, current Oma should be much stronger than Garuki, but as I've been talking about in many videos, Garuki, in my opinion, still hasn't gone all out in the story so far. He's had all these suppression issues, mentality regarding his friendship with Koga and everything like that. So regarding Garuki's full capabilities, still very unknown, and we don't really have a good understanding of how strong he is. So he went from low diffing Chiba while in kill intent, like 0 diff, to losing against some nameless fodder. In short, so long Garuki doesn't kill an opponent, he's definitely going to make it quite far in this tournament. Maybe even the final, and if he does face Koga in like the semi-finals or something like that, I think Garuki will most likely defeat him in his current state, but of course we'll have to wait and see. I don't think he's going to win the tournament. My bet's still on Cosmo. I can't wait to see the other fights in round 2, especially Falcon vs Sorpang. If we get that, that's going to be a crazy fight. Let's talk a little bit about what Chiba did this chapter. So he has achieved the apex of acting. His copy has evolved once again. And now, what has my man copied over the recent time skips? Kano Agito's Formless and Lolong's Salat. Did not see that coming. Copying Formless is very impressive, and he actually fuses them together, Formless, Salat, and that's where Garuki low diffed him with the Blink and Palm. But the fact that he was able to learn these two techniques to a decent degree, as Oma comments the Salat is a pretty good copy, that is, pretty wild. We don't know the degree that Chiba was able to copy the Formless of Kano's. Probably not to a significant degree, but his Salat copy was pretty good, at least according to Oma. So yeah, Chiba on some absolute wild shit, and I do like this panel of the two faces of Lolong and Kano together here, especially with the Formless face of Kano here. But yeah, man has all these crazy techniques, his crazy copy to just get low diff for a third time. Like a few attacks from Sen back in Astra, he was pretty much one-shot by Kyozan early in Omega, and now he was pretty much one-shot by Garuki here. Pulls out some cool moves, freaks out his opponent, and then gets absolutely destroyed. Maybe in like the third manga series of Kengan, we'll finally see Chiba actually getting a dub, and not being such a goofy dude using some crazy techniques that aren't his own. And we do get mention of the Kure technique copy that Oma used back in his Lolong fight. We don't know whether that's better or worse than Chiba's copying ability, but Oma does state that he's more in character regarding his copy, which is of course due to his whole acting thing, not really being better at copying techniques per se, in my opinion. This chapter was very short, unfortunately, but Kiryu's motive goal in the story is finalized. Set up for a fight between Garuki and Oma in the future of the story, which is going to be pretty cool. Roki is still in the tournament, which I'm glad for, in the way I predicted. And yeah, that's pretty much everything for today's video. I hope you enjoyed. Let me know down below your thoughts on this reveal regarding Kiryu. Are you fine with it? Are you disappointed somewhat like me? Are you Excited to see what Garuki is capable of. I know I definitely am. Probably most excited to see what he does in the future of the tournament. If you haven't already, check out all the other stuff in the description. If you want to talk more about Kengan or any other fighting manga content, consider joining the Discord, follow the Twitter, Instagram, etc. And of course, shout out to the Mad Lads who support the channel via the Patreon. But this has been Mysterious Weeb in his mysterious outfit. I hope you enjoyed. That's it, guys. Peace.